Behold, the legendary Frosty Mug. This has been sitting in the freezer for several hours, and this has been sitting in the fridge for several days. This is Central Waters Brewing Company Scotch Ale. It's the Brewer's Reserve. I don't know what that means, but I have noticed that it has this cool symbol on the top, and I kind of dig that. I'm guessing that's the intersection of four rivers, something like that. Maybe that's where they're from, is near that. I don't know. Could be a crow's foot for all I know. Could be a Norse rune. Looks kind of like a Norse rune. May or may not have had some influence on why I bought it, if I'm being honest. If I'm being entirely honest. But thought I'd go ahead and give her a try here. So let's see. Ooh, okay. So right off the bat, I'm catching things that are typical of a Scotch ale. I'm catching some malty scents. I'm catching some roasted notes. I'm starting to think coffee off of this, which is not what I would normally have expected. But no, deeper than that. Raisins? I'm picking up dried fruits. Oh, that's good. Oh, it's a dark, rich looking thing, isn't it? Oh boy. Yeah, that's looking like it's gonna be a wee beastie. Let's go ahead and give it a shot and see what we think. Now, yeah, I'm definitely getting kind of coffee-ish smell with some roasted sweets, some maybe dates or figs. Figs, yes. Smells exactly like dried figs. With a coffee undertone, some chocolatey. I bet this is going to be really tasty. My God. That's like port wine. That's like a beer combined with a port wine. I was not joking about raisins in there. I've always said if wine is made from grapes, port tastes like it's made from raisins, which of course raisins are just dried grapes, but you get the idea. It's a dried sugar mass at the center of what used to be a grape. It's been squished down to its finest properties, and this has that going on in there. There's buried hints of coffee and chocolate in that flavor, but overwhelmingly what you're getting is the sugary fruit, a caramely, figgy. This is like Christmas in a glass. They haven't bothered with any of the seasonings like cardamom or cinnamon or coriander or any of that wacky stuff. They've just gone straight for the fruit flavor. And you know how you can get a beer and they'll call it like a blueberry ale, and they actually put blueberries in with it, and it just comes out tasting like a half-assed attempt at an ale that somebody threw some fruit juice into. Or you'll get like a cherry wheat, and if it's not done properly, it'll just come off tasting silly. I don't know. There's an awful lot of fruit beers out there that come out tasting like kid beer to me, and it just doesn't work. It seems like somebody's trying to cut the beer flavor out and put in something that's more palatable to them. What this comes off as is somebody who has a very, very beer-centric palate and who wanted to add to that. So it's dense. It's like a force of nature in a glass. You're getting walloped by this thing. It takes a steady hand. It's thick as milk. It's fizzy. It's got a slight burn on the tongue. It has... Good Lord. This is an absolute treasure. This is a treasure trove, is what I've just found. The last one I had was a Belgian style. Polar opposite on the spectrum. Still has a nice fizzy. Still has the Christmassy kind of flavors. It's got seasonings and it's got all of that. But that's where that was light and crisp and champagne-y. This is like a dessert wine combined with a beer. And frankly, it's one of the best beers I've tasted in the last year, probably. I haven't been this excited about a beer since I had the St. Bernardus at Christmas. So that should give you an idea of... Oh, it's coating my throat too. So like all the damage I've been doing by doing Cloud's voice and Sephiroth's voice and all of the other like growly characters in the game is it's kind of being beaten back by this thing. Medicinal, good for what ails you. Still just fizzing like hell. Look at that. Up close. You can see it's just got gas for days in there. God, they must keep this stuff in like a pressured sealed chamber or something. It's fucking hell. Alright, well, I will definitely be tweeting at Central Waters Brewing Company because this is a really solid beer. It says here, this rich malty ale has been aged to perfection in our barrel house. Subtle and smooth, this is a decadent display of patience and process. Join us in a toast to good health. Slante, which is a Scottish Gaelic or Irish Gaelic for good health or something like that. And I'll meet them with a skull, because that's Old Norse for cheers, essentially. That's darn good brew. Thanks very much for the taste. I'll be back in a second. I'm going to go share this with Indigo. She's going to freaking love this one. Alright, one final addendum. After having shared this with Indigo, her thoughts on it were, and I quote, like a religious experience. This is... I'm not kidding. This is probably the best beer that I have sampled this year. It's genuinely magical. It's like somebody took tawny port and combined it with beer in all of the best possible ways. I'm almost moved to tears. That's a good fucking beer right there. Well done, Central Waters. Alright, well, I'll enjoy sipping on that for the rest of the show. But good golly. I can taste your words, he says. Well, fabulous. I'm glad.